What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about 2016 columns and the swaps and stuff. So right now I'm doing like a handful of them at once, and I just want to make this video for the guys who've already bought it, and so when you get your stuff, you know what to do. That's what this video is for. And building some for here local, and building one for the excursion in the driveway right now too. So there's a lot of people say that you can't get the 2016 column to work. I've seen people, a lot of people use the old column. Then there's a lot of people that use an 08 column because it's easier, because they say you can't get the 16 column to work. And this is what I do to get it to work. It's something I came up with, I guess, but it works. I mean, I've been rocking it in my truck for a while. I know other people that are still rocking it. I don't see anything wrong with it. But I'm going to show you why I do this and what the steps I go through to do it, I guess. So if you want me to do this for you, I charge $100, and that's for the brackets, and then I repin the clock spring wires and everything. Yeah. So I make the brackets, get you the hardware, and repin the steering wheel harness for you. If you want your cruise done, that's extra. The relay kit, that's extra too. You need a wiper doohickey, that's extra. But so right now we're really just talking about the multi-switch and the clock spring setup. That's really what this video is for. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into that. So most time I have customers, they mail me, if they want this done, I just have them mail me the 2016 Cruise. Oh, that's the audio. Whoops, I got the wrong one on there. Act like that's the Cruise. The steering wheel harness and the Cruise buttons. And then I have them mail me the same stuff for the 08. So I want your 08 multi-switch. I want your 08 clock spring and the bracket that holds them together. And then your 2008 I need a 2008 to 10 steering wheel harness, and then the Cruise buttons as well, and the pigtails for those. So you got your clock spring and multi-switch pigtails. This is really what you need. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to piece all this together to find the pigtails. You can buy the multi-switches and the clock springs and the cruise controls new, but then you're going to be in it some money. Versus I've seen it at local junkyards. When I was in Houston, I could find a whole steering wheel and column with the pigtails for $150 out the door. I also see them on eBay for around $150 shipped. So plan for that $150. It's going to be $150 extra in parts for this project. So just keep that in mind. So that's why I just buy a whole 0810 column, and then you have everything, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. I don't recommend piecing it together. So now that you've got your 08 stuff, you've got your 2016 steering wheel and cruise control, and let's say you mailed these to me or you're doing them yourself, totally cool. Now that you've got the required parts that you're gonna need, what's the next step? Next step is boom, let's get to work now. These are the things you're gonna need. I used this. Man, I'm drawing a square. Jesus, I wanted to say triangle, but that's not a triangle, a speed square. And then I got a Sharpie, and then I use a 5mm by 8 tap. I start with this just to get, if I need to drill somewhere, I'll start with a little bit to make sure I get it started right, and then move to this guy. And 11/64 works for this tap. And then I use this for drilling a hole. So I use this so the bolts can slide in and out. So they're perfect. I think this one right here. Yeah, 13/16 is what I use for this. Yeah, see it coming out. 13/16 hole right there. All right, and then what kind of metal? This is just steel. It's just 1/2-inch flat bar. I just got it at Home Depot. Nothing too fancy. It was probably like $5. So you got that. One bracket's pretty much just a little L bracket, and the other one's kind of just like an extension, weird loop-de-doo bracket. And then I use 4 of these little 5mm bolts. They're 10mm long. Let me write that down for you guys. That's what length I use. So they're 5. You're gonna use 4 of them, 5mm by 8, and they're 10mm long. So that's your length, and that's your thread. And this is the number you need. So if you want to use this is if you want to use the exact same hardware I use. I just get it in my local Ace, or Home Depot's got it too. So boom, you got that, and then a 5mm socket, you're gonna need that. So, all right, now back to the columns. Now that you've got your 2016-11 column, you're gonna go ahead and get you a 5mm. And I already took the bolts out. So there's one up here. So just choo. There's one right there. Take it out. Choo. And then right there. Take that one out. So now that you've got those 3 out, you're gonna take this bad boy and go whoop. Now the next step for this is really important. I mean, you could tell it's pretty crazy. This is literally called a steering wheel column module. It's whole computer system. There's no way you can get this to work with the old trucks. It's just keep it simple. You know, you would have to build a module that can talk to this and understand this to talk to the 7.3 and 6.0s, and then, you know, it's just making things so more complicated than they need to be. So you know, my rules, you know, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. So the next step you're gonna do is really important. You know, just make sure you don't fuck this part up. So what you're gonna do is just carefully drop it in the trash. Look, see, I fucked that up. See, you guys? Just throw it away. Clearly, I didn't play basketball. All right, so boom. Now that you've got that out of the way, you got your beautiful looking shaft. You're gonna take this and your Sharpie and put it level right there. And you can already see I drew the line right there. That line's gonna come into play later, and I'm gonna tell you why. So now you're not gonna need your Sharpie in that anymore. Next step is, next step. Right here, I grind this off a little bit. I got a little crazy, and I can kind of see the ignition terminal coming up. That shouldn't have done any damage. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just gonna get some plastic epoxy and just put a little bit over it to cover it back up. But yeah, I grinded a little bit on the metal and on the plastic. I'm gonna tell you why later. So now that you got that done, you got your line, you got that grinded. Next step is gonna be this bad boy, your 08 column. So I don't have one that's not already done because I didn't think I was gonna make a video on this. So I kind of grind it away. You can really see how far I went. If you already have an 08 one, you know, go ahead and look at yours and look at mine, and you can see what I grinded away. So you really got to get up on this tab where this bolt goes up here. You can see how, like, I got pretty deep with it because it really needs to clear over this bearing right here. That's the, if my thing will focus, it really needs to clear over this bearing and stuff. So that's why you got to grind out so much. So now that you slip it over, voila. And look at that. She's ready to pretty much go in there. And if you're wondering, you know, as long as you get it lined up, everything lines up perfectly. You know, nothing rubs, it works great. So the reasoning for this line is so you're gonna drill your hole and tap right there on that line. You see it? Not straight, not even, a half a turn. I noticed that was too much. This is not enough. Right there is perfect. And it's because if you got this like this, look at this multi-switch right here. If you just clock it a little bit, look how much that raises it. It raises it, you know, a quarter turn up here is like over an inch on the side. And you know what that's gonna do when this part right here is going up and down? Your cover right there is gonna rub. So you can't be too high. So I noticed a half a turn or half a bolt turn, whatever, was perfect, because when I would turn my turn signal on, it would rub and it would always hit this, And so when I went and did my next column, I redid it and it came out perfect. So I redid it on my truck too. So from now on, I always draw that line, slide this on there. So you would think right there it'd be perfect, but it always hits on the column cover. So you just clock it a little bit and boom, bada bing, bada boom, that's where you're gonna drill. So I'd come in with my Sharpie, I'm gonna draw another hole. And then you have a bracket hole over here, and this is where another bracket's gonna come in. And then you got your 2 holes there. You got one there and one there. That's where the second bracket is. So let me go ahead. Let me take care of this. Let me bolt them in because I can't hold my phone and do it at the same time. and it's pretty straightforward. So let me go ahead and take care of this, and I'm gonna be right back. All right, hold on. Okay, one thing I want to point out too. So you can see I drilled my hole. Not exactly on the line, but hey, it's close enough. It'll work. Because you know, when you got the bracket on there, you'll have a little play left and right. So don't be afraid to drill into this, guys. And keep in mind, this is shitty metal, so it's super easy to drill through. So don't get too crazy. You know, you don't have to put much pressure or anything. It's really easy to drill through. It's just crappy ass aluminum. Now, if you look, you can see my hole. Don't worry about drilling too far. I mean, you could just take this thing and just, you know, go all the way until you hit the shaft. You see? I'm hitting the shaft right there. So that's all it is. So the bearings right here, it's barely pressed in. And then where you're drilling at, you clear the bearing. So don't worry about hitting the bearing or anything. And you'll know too, once you hit this shitty metal and then you go to really nice steel, you'll notice it. You'll be like going, it'll be drilling through like butter and then just stop. So don't worry, just don't be afraid. Trust me on this. Don't worry about it. So now that you got your hole drilled out, you can come in with your tap and go to town. So I'll be right back when I got this sucker mounted. Okay, now another tip. So when you're drilling this, I looked it up and I Googled, and 11/64 is the closest drill bit I had. But I said, you know what, we're gonna go down a size, because you know it's always better to start smaller and go bigger when drilling, because you know once you go too big, you know you can't go back. You know, so I put it a 532, and that works perfect. So I mean, I bet 11/64 would work, but 532 it worked just fine, and I know it worked good. So let's see if we could zoom in. You can see my threads, they came out really nice. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab a screw and see how it works. Oh yeah, there we go, look at that. Hell yeah. So that's how it's done, people. So now when you slide your bracket thing over, you can just screw it in. So 532 for a 5mm drill bit. Alright, so let me get this sucker all mounted up. I'll be back. Alright guys, so check it out. So I've got the top bolts in there, no problem. And then I've got my little bracket that I made right here. You can see it. So I'm using the factory mounts. It's pretty cool. So I got my 5mm, you know, little bolt going right there, and then I'm using just the factory screw right there. You know, it's just like this hole, but this one over here. So now that I've got this one mounted and this one mounted, you know, we got a turn signal. Isn't that cool on a 16 column? But keep this in mind. So look down the shaft. That don't look straight, does it? So this is why I think, you know, I'll keep it all a little bit loose and make sure once I get all my brackets on there, then I'll tighten it all up. But there's still play in here. So yeah, see, like right there, that looks good. So I would call that good enough. But that's where this L bracket's gonna come in handy for over here. So check this out. You're pretty much just gonna do the same, like drill and tap into the side of the column, and you bolt it in right there. Now remember, I said a 13/64 drill bit. That's because my 5mm bolts don't screw, they don't fit in here. And so I take the 13/64 and I go, wah! And now this bolt can fit through there. And then let's see, I drill and tapped right there, so then I can just literally screw this to that, and then we can just drill and tap right there, and boom, boom. So all right, let me come back to you when this is all done. All right, check it out. So it's on there. Look at that. It's pretty centered, if you ask me. I mean, you know, we're talking like, it ain't gonna get no better than that. That looks really good to me. You know, for eyeballing some shit, good enough to me. So you got the bracket right here, you know, mounts to the factory spot right here. Then you got your top one that's offset right there. And then you got your L bracket right here, going right there like that, and just mounts into this factory spot. So it's very important, guys, to make sure you have this centered. I mean, you know, it's a steering wheel, it's a turning part. You know, if you look, you got your Orion. It's like an Orion's belt, and so when you got your steering wheel, if you look, these three line up. So if this is offset, it's going to be super hard to get your steering wheel in there, and it might bind when you're turning left or right. So just make sure you get this sucker in there like that. You know, that looks really good to me, you know. So all right, that's done. This is on there, it's mounted. Boom, now we have an 08 multi-switch and clock spring on a 6.7 column. And I mean, it's on there. Look, you can lift up the column by the multi-switch, you know. Some people are, if you want to say, man, is that sturdy? I mean, I trust it. All right, so now remember, you had to shave here. I had to shave a little bit more. I'm gonna show you why. It is a pain in your ass to get this pigtail in. I mean, you can unbolt it, or I think I might have clocked this one maybe 1 degree too much. I can still get it in there, but that's why I tell you gotta shave there. If not, to remove this pigtail, you're gonna have to unbolt this clock spring and let it loose to unbolt this pigtail every single time. And when I'm building my custom harnesses, I take this in and out probably 3 or 4 times, you know, while I'm building the column harness into the main harness. So that's why you shave that. All right, so boom, now you know you got this is your multi-switch pigtail. Then you got your clock spring pigtail is just gonna go right there like that, and boom, that's it, you're done. Almost. All right, another trick I want to tell you guys. So this clock spring, if you don't know how clock springs work, it's basically like a little thing in there, and as you turn one way it tightens, as it turns one it like loosens. It's just a really long cord in there, and they break sometimes. You got to be careful with these, don't get crazy. So if it turns like 6.5, maybe seven turns you can get out of this. So you want to make sure it's in the middle. So basically turn it with one finger, and there's a little bit of resistance, but once you start to feel some resistance like that, it doesn't want to go anymore. That's how you know you're at the end of the rope. So what I do is I'll bring it back to the center, and I'll count 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then that's how I know that's the center of the wheel. The plug is always on top, so now I know the clock spring's centered, and I know to put my wheel in the middle, and I know everything's lined up. I'm not going to turn once to pull out of my driveway and snap my clock spring like a newbie. So like if we go this way, we should have 3 counts. So 1, 2, oh, we got 2, so we need to find the center. 1, 2, 3. All right, now we should do another 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the end. Yeah, it's resistant right there. So yeah, this one was exactly 6. So we're gonna go back to the center now. The 2, 3, voila. All right, so that's ready to go to put the wheel on there. But the next step, where'd they go? Is these. So if you want to run the 2016 steering wheel, well, that doesn't fit in there. That doesn't work. It's too big. You need this tiny one. This is so this is an 08 steering harness and whatever. But what I do for the guys that want to run the 2016 steering wheel, the reason I have you ship me your 2016 steering wheel harness is because I D-pin all of these, and they fit in this one. So I D-pin this one, and basically I put this plug onto this harness. And believe it or not, there's enough slots. So, I mean, Ford didn't have to use this one. They could have kept this style, but to each is their own. So, like for example, over here I have a handful of them already done. So this is a 2016 harness. You know, see that's a 2016 cruise control and an 08 pigtail. And voila! Now you have 2016 6.7 cruise controls and everything. And then another cool little tip or trick, if you're doing your cruise controls and you already know how to do them, since you already bought all the 08 stuff, see how it says cancel and resume and that says on off? Those need to be separate buttons. Just like these 08 one. And if you notice, those buttons are the exact same shape, so technically you can swap them out like I did on this one. So now you have your off and on buttons that are separate. So I think that about covers it on you know, a portion of the little column kits and stuff that I do. So now you have a totally functional 2016 column that is all analog, I guess you could say. Plug this one back in. And voila, you got your multi-switch wires, you got your clock spring wires, you got your steering wheel harness ready to go. Just gotta put this back in there, and that's pretty much it. So I hope this helps some of you guys out. You know, obviously, you know, this is stuff that I know some of you guys can probably handle, but this is also a service that I offer. You know, it's not crazy rocket science, but you know, it's to get it perfect. You know, I think my video should help everyone out. You know, if you were going into this blind, then you'd have some figuring out to do. But I hope this really helps out some of you guys. For the guys that are who bought some of this stuff off of me, or this, I don't even know if to call this a kit or what. Call it a bracket kit. I'm not even sure. 08 multifunction switch conversion kit. So that pretty much wraps that up for that. I hope you all have a good day though. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to get this done, let me know. Yeah, pretty much it. Adios.